Thank you for auditing the unedited, always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor who's going to be negative. I am an always positive channel. I believe in supporting art. I believe in supporting artists. But it's been a while since I've done a video. My family's been in town for my son's graduation. And you know, something just popped up today and I just have to talk about it, okay? I'm going to have a little loophole. I'm going to be talking about the Fall Out Boy cover of the song We Didn't Start the Fire. And let me put the positive stuff first. This is a far superior version of the song. This song is 10 times better than the original. Okay, it's less cloying, it's better produced, the bare absurdity and impotent fake deepness of the entire project is laid more bare. It's a little bit more campy. I don't know. It's a better version of the song. So congratulations to Fall Out Boy. You have polished a turd. It's still a turd. It's still not a good song. But when I read the words Fall Out Boy, who I don't mind, I saw them in concert with Weezer a couple years ago. They're fine. I don't hate Fall Out Boy, but I did like that cover of Ghostbusters. They're not good at doing covers, So when I saw they were doing a cover, I'm like, this sounds like the worst possible combination ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this excuse just to talk about why do I consider We Didn't Start the Fire to be the second worst song of all time. Okay? Now listen, I'm never going to punch down, I'm never going to talk about a song. I'm never ever going to be negative about anything that isn't huge or widely popular. And I'd even go further and say that no bad song. In order to be a bad song, a song has to be popular. Okay? In order to something be truly terrible, it has to be a song which somehow has infiltrated the masses, has somehow made itself ubiquitous, make itself everywhere. Because, if a song is just bad and you hear it and you don't like it and no one else listens to it, then it doesn't affect you. The reason that I hold such a hatred for number one on this list and for We Didn't Start the Fire, and I am going to be letting the hatred flow through me. I'm a man of love. I believe in love. But I truly, truly hate We Didn't Start the Fire because I'm a child of the 80s. I was 12 years old when it came out in 1989, and it was everywhere. And for my entire life, I've had to have people sing this song to me. I've had to hear it everywhere I go. And it has bothered me, and I have thought it was impotently fake deep since I was 12 years old. And it is ubiquitous. And also, not for nothing, I have for a long time hated Billy Joel himself, which I don't think is fair, okay? I think probably Billy Joel, I can't believe I'm saying this, he's probably... I probably shouldn't hate Billy Joel, but the way that I grew up, when I grew up, he was so ubiquitous. His songs were everywhere that it was impossible for me to appreciate anything he did, okay? The amount of arguments I had with people about why the Beatles were better than Billy Joel, he was just everywhere, all the time. Okay, so I've heard personal stories about people who've met him, say he's a really nice guy, very self-effacing. So I'm not out here to just sort of attack and just hate on. As a matter of fact, if you think Billy Joel is great, tell me where I should go. Somebody who's grown up and felt that his work was inflicted on me, like the smoke from Canada that's billowing down into Western New York and making it impossible for me to go outside, forcing me to sit inside in my virtual basement and ranting about a song. Tell me what is it about Billy Joel that isn't the worst. But I want to give you 5 reasons. I think 5. We'll say 5. 5 reasons why I think We Didn't Start the Fire is the second worst song of all time. Question number 1. Who is we? Who is we? We didn't start the fire. Is this all humanity? Or is it actually a middle-aged, white, middle-class, affluent audience? It's the latter, okay? When he's saying we, the things that he's talking about, the experiences that he's describing, are the experiences of the baby boomers, of this gigantic generation, the main character syndrome generation, seeing their own life as a dramatic series of events that revolve around them. That's who we are. And beyond that, we is humanity. And all of a sudden, we didn't start the fire means that humanity is not taking responsibility for its own actions. It's a kind of terrible centrism. It invites complacency. And it leads to part 2. It's a lie. We did start the fire. Of course we started the fire. Who shot Kennedy? Who? Birds? Who? shot Kennedy? There's more you have to say. Humanity. We did start the fire. Number 3, it's the boomer problem. It's you, boomers. Okay, I get it. Free market capitalism was put in place. You were marketed to. I get it. But he wrote the song when he turned 40. And he looked around and he made a soundtrack for his generation who had benefited from all of the freedoms and the movements of the 60s. And then inverted and decided to become really selfish in the 70s, and then insanely cruel, insanely selfish, insanely wealth gap widening, Reagan voting, crack epidemic supporting villains. That's who started the fire, you clown. You. Don't say we didn't start it. We were hippies, man. We tried to stop it. No, that's, you don't get credit. You don't get credit. You don't get credit. You don't get credit for not trying. The line is, we tried to fight it, but we didn't ignite it. It is absolution. I understood at 12 years old, as a little angry Generation Xer who would grow into a slightly older Generation Xer, that this was for boomers to say, wow, look at all these events, look at what we lived through. While I was living my life as the star of my own story, all these events were swirling around me. I am Forrest Gump. This movie is Forrest Gump, the musical, except Forrest Gump has so many great things about it. Forrest Gump is an amazing movie. I don't particularly enjoy it. I have a lot of problems with it. But this is Forrest Gump in all the worst ways. Just pandering to boomers' desire to absolve themselves of everything. And listen, I'm a Generation Xer, and we don't deserve absolution either. Okay? No one deserves absolution. Why would you talk about all these things and then say, we didn't do it? It's not us. It's not us. It wasn't me. You know? This is the it wasn't me of Western civilization. That's what it is. It's cis, white, powerful men saying, it wasn't me. Who started all these problems? It wasn't me. Hey, who started the crack epidemic? It wasn't me. Who ignored the AIDS epidemic? It wasn't me. Cut me lying, buck naked, and voting for Reagan. You know, like it is. It is. You did start the fire, so stop telling me you didn't start the fire, okay? And then the fourth part, am I even counting anymore? It's this crazy flattening of history. Just line after line with no position taken. What more do I have to say is the most famous line. You have to say a lot. History is not just flipping through the index of a history textbook and reading what you say and figuring out what rhymes, you know? Like, before I even listened to the Fall Out Boy version, this is what I came up with. Pokemon, Columbine, Phineas and Ferb, Obamacare, Trump's hair, Sunny D, Guantanamo, and Bakugan. That's my version. I will have to see. I think my version is as good as Fall Out Boy, but you just mix it together, and more than that, it creates this sense that there is some kind of like inevitability. That's the thing. It's like it's not a series of choices made by human beings, usually in self-interest, pitting themselves against others in the name of greed and power and domination. It's a fire. Human greed and the will to dominate is a fire. It's a natural force. I'm not responsible for it. And just when you're like me and you grow up with the boomers and you grow up with the boomers and you listen to Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's got a winning team. Oh my God, he's talking about the Brooklyn Dodgers. Shut up about the Brooklyn Dodgers, boomers. No one cares about the Brooklyn Dodgers. Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland, just spitting out these little nostalgia nuggets mixed in with this fake deep Bardot, Budapest, Alabama, Khrushchev. Ooh, he said Khrushchev. Fascinating. Alabama. Oh, the bus. Oh, wow. And Disneyland. Chubby Checker, Psycho, Belgians in the Congo. You know, what? Birth Control, Ho Chi Minh, Richard Nixon back again, Moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate, punk rock. You can't go Watergate punk. Either, you have a choice. You can either be going sequentially, or you have to go slower than that. You can't just go Watergate punk rock. Oh my God. But really, the problem is in the chorus. We didn't light it, but we tried to fight it. And maybe I deserve... That's the thing about Billy Joel. It's possible because, so this is the interaction that I heard of. A friend of mine worked at a CD store in Long Island. And Billy Joel and his daughter, I think his daughter was Christy Brinkley, came into the store. And I think she was even joking about buying a Billy Joel CD. And Billy Joel was like, oh no, you don't want to listen to me. I'm not cool. You know, so like he has a kind of self-awareness. So maybe this is actually the secret. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, maybe this is like Born in the USA. Because Born in the USA is a song against America. Maybe the fact that he said we tried to fight it is a crazy condemnation of the boomers and of the West and of America, of post-war America, the people who benefited from the 30 glorious years that followed World War II. Okay? Maybe that's it, but I don't think so. I think he's trying to give himself a round of applause. Hey, we tried to fight it. Remember the 60s? They were so great. Peace, man. Disco, 80s, go-go's. Just keep going, throwing out things and just feeling good. You get member berries with a little sprinkling of fake deep. The fifth point is stylistically, they're robbing REM. Just if you were my age, you remember 2 years before, there was a song called It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine by REM. Very similar themes, much better done, much more interesting, much more concentrated on sort of Cold War fears, questioning of America, a little bit more playful, a little bit more poetic, but it's these kind of faux rap, very charged choruses filled with an amazingly infectious chorus. It's just the REM version is just much, much better, much more interesting. And it's hard to place. Leonard Bernstein, Leonid Brezhnev, Lenny Bruce and Lester Bangs, Birthday Party, Cheesecake, Jelly Bean Vermouth. Like, there is a kind of a punk rock edge to this song, where it is, if you read it carefully, something of a condemnation of post-war politics, of Cold War politics, of Reaganism. It's not just saying, these are all things that happened during the movie that is my life and I'm the star. In both cases, we're seeing, in REM and in Billy Joel, we're seeing these artists trying to come to terms with how can they incorporate some of elements of rap into rock and pop music. And that doesn't really bother me, except that it's, in this case, in We Didn't Start the Fire, it's just incredibly bad. And really, the chorus of We Didn't Start the Fire it's a success in the way that Baby Shark is a success, Baby Shark is a complete musical success as being a very, very catchy song that gets stuck in your head. And We Didn't Start the Fire is Baby Shark level catchy, Baby Shark level stupid. It doesn't possess any of the charm or wit or warmth of Baby Shark, but it does possess that catchiness. And with that crazy lead line, that tinny garbage keyboard line, that all you have to do is just hear it, and you can hear it everywhere. And that's what I did. I've heard this song my entire life, and that's why it's number 2. Now, how about the Fall Out Boy version? First of all, hey, Fall Out Boy, thank you for changing the chorus. Thank you for fixing the whole damn song. We are trying to fight it. Now, let's take us all to, are we really? Are we? Are we trying to fight it? This is now the other problem. Is it actually better that it's actually in the current, in present tense? Because it's actually like, if we are trying to fight all these injustices, we're not doing a very good job. We're not effectively making these fights. We're still overturning Roe v. Wade in 2021. So we're not. If we're trying to fight the fire, Canada's literally on fire right now. We're not really actually trying to stop climate change. Not actually. I mean, some people are, but as a species, we're not. So, I don't know. What's better? Is it better to say we tried to fight it or we're trying to fight it? What's better is not to refer to it as a fire and just talk about how human beings are having this problem. One thing that I love, though, one thing that I love about the Fall Out Boy version is that it abandons any pretense to chronology. It is just a soup of the last 33 years. And I imagine that might piss some people off because it's goofy as hell. The first line, Captain Planet Arab Spring. Just like, I mean, that's, like Arab Spring was in the early 2010s. Captain Planet was a environmentally conscious TV show, which nobody liked. Everyone knew about it. Everyone watched it, but nobody liked it. It was preachy. We knew it. I remember watching it when I was 12 years old. So it has that kind of member berry, Elvis Presley, Disney, da 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 da, those kind of mixing those things together, but they're like 20 years apart. And I think that's great because it helps to break apart the main character syndrome that dominates the original song, where you're getting the sense that Billy Joel was just going through his life thinking about all of the news stories that he saw while he was doing his things. Kurt Cobain Pokemon, I am now imagining Kurt Cobain as a Pokemon. I don't know if he would evolve, or if he's like the evolved form. No, I think he'd just be a legendary. I think Kurt Cobain would be legendary. I think his quick attack, I want to say like Fire Fang or something like that. Maybe he'd be like Dark type. Yeah, that'd be rad. Anyways, if you have any ideas of a Kurt Cobain Pokemon, send them to my Instagram. I'll share the Kurt Cobain Pokemon. Or maybe like grass type. No, water type, because he's dark and water type. That's the Kurt Cobain Pokemon, because he's up there in Aberdeen and Washington, So I could see him not using surf maybe, but some kind of water attack. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? More war in Afghanistan, Cubs go all the way again. And this is just a reminder of what a boomer nightmare the original song is, because people don't care about baseball anymore. I care about baseball. I love the Red Sox. I have the MLB package, okay? But what the hell? I'm an old man, okay? Realistically, the fact that the Cubs won the World Series is not a major thing that happened in the last 33 years, whereas the Billy Joel original talks about Brooklyn Dodgers and California baseball because that did matter to that generation. This goes back again to this question of more war in Afghanistan. This is just that flattening, because Billy Joel mentioned the war in Afghanistan, except, of course, the Mujahideen were being supported by the American government. And who did we fight? We fought the Mujahideen in the Afghanistan war. So, they could have made a point about how the people who we were fighting and We Didn't Start the Fire Part 1, the people who we were supporting and We Didn't Start the Fire Part 1 are the people we were fighting and We Didn't Start the Fire Part 2. But that requires history. That requires anything other than just the word Afghanistan being said. And then we go, yeah, man, I know Afghanistan. That's a word. Bobbitt John bombing Boston Marathon, Balloon Boy, War on Terror, QAnon. It's interesting. What I find interesting about this version is that it, in a way, it's a stylistic study as to what is We Didn't Start the Fire as a song. So it talks about Shinzo Abe blown away. So you could tell that JFK blown away, what more do I have to say? That's the standout line from the original. That's, even a hater like me has to recognize that as a beautifully constructed, very effective punchline in the song, right? But there haven't been, that Shinzo Abe was a very big deal, but trying to draw parallels, they were just looking for a blown away. Burj Khalifa, Metroid? No. Metroid? Hey, video gamers. Metroid. I know Metroid Prime was great and the new Metroid, but get out of here with Metroid. Metroid isn't a game that if you want to talk about Metroid, you're not going to be talking about from 1989 to 2023. Woodstock 99, Keaton, Batman, Bush v. Gore, I can't take it anymore. So again, what is it that makes We Didn't Start the Fire? You have to have I Can't Take It Anymore. Having Keaton Batman is so strange because Keaton Batman was happening right as We Didn't Start the Fire came out. So We Didn't Start the Fire was a song that I had to listen to all the time while I was obsessed with Michael Keaton's Batman. And so I guess he did one more movie in the 90s, but it's a very confusing choice here. Bush v. Gore, I Can't Take It Anymore. That's fine. Prince and the Queen die. Prince and the Queen die. So he's saying Prince, the singer, and the Queen, Queen Victoria? Or Queen Elizabeth. I guess that's okay. World Trade, Second Plane, what else do I have to say? This is where you understand that the what else do I have to say is going back to this concept that what is it that makes? What makes a We Didn't Start the Fire? What else do I have to say? You have to hit all these notes. And when someone else does a remake of this song, some other band makes a remake of this song in 20 years, they're going to have to include these elements as well. This is going to be haunting you for the rest of your life. There's going to be a new We Didn't Start the Fire every 20 years, and I'm sorry to tell you. Come back to this video and tell me I was right. Still, the chorus is less annoying. It's still annoying, but I like the emo singing instead of the keyboards. I like the present tense of we're trying to fight it. It's a much better song. I thought it was going to be the worst thing I've ever heard, but it's definitely better than the original. There we go. I'm coming back tomorrow with the swans, my normal stuff. We got this. And there's the camera. Hatred.